My mother stood in my living room with her arms crossed, looking at my husband like he was something she'd scraped off her shoe. "He's not good enough for you, Jessica. He never has been. And if you stay with him, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life." That was 7 years ago. Today, my relationship with my mother is barely civil, but my marriage is the strongest it's ever been. This is the story of how I had to choose between my family and my husband, and why I'm grateful every day that I chose him. Before I continue, please subscribe, like, and comment where you are listening from. I met Connor at a community college in Phoenix. I was 24, taking night classes to finish my degree while working full-time. He was 26, working construction during the day and taking classes at night to become a licensed electrician. My family is, well, they're a lot. My dad's a successful corporate attorney. My mom comes from old money and has never worked a day in her life. My older brother followed in dad's footsteps. Law school, big firm, the whole deal. I was supposed to do something similar. Maybe not law, but something prestigious. Marketing executive, maybe. Or marry someone impressive. Connor was not impressive. Not by my family standards, anyway. He drove a beat-up truck, he wore work boots and jeans with actual dirt on them. His idea of dressing up was a clean flannel shirt. He'd grown up in a trailer park with a single mom who worked 3 jobs. He had no college degree, no prestigious career plans, just a solid trade and a strong work ethic. But he made me laugh. He was kind and honest and had this way of seeing straight through all my family's pretentious bullshit. When I complained about my parents' expectations, he'd just shrug and say, "So don't meet them, be yourself." Revolutionary concept in my family. We dated for 2 years before I finally introduced him to my parents. I knew it would be bad, I just didn't know how bad. My mom insisted on hosting dinner at their house, a massive place in Scottsdale with more square footage than most people's entire neighborhoods. Connor showed up in khakis and a button-up shirt, the nicest clothes he owned. He brought flowers for my mom and a bottle of wine for my dad. He was nervous, but trying so hard. It didn't matter. My family had already decided he wasn't good enough. My dad asked what he did for a living. When Connor said construction and that he was studying to be an electrician, my dad actually laughed. Not a friendly laugh, a dismissive one. "So, manual labor, I suppose." Connor just nodded. "Yes, sir, it is." My brother asked where he went to college. Connor explained he'd done 2 years at community college and was doing night classes now. "Community college?" my brother repeated, like Connor had said he was homeschooled by raccoons. My mom barely spoke to him at all. She asked polite, cold questions and clearly stopped listening to his answers halfway through. The worst part came after dinner. Connor went to the bathroom, and my family immediately turned on me. "You cannot be serious about this guy," my brother said. "He's nice," I defended weakly. "Nice?" My mom's voice was sharp. "Jessica, you were raised with opportunities this boy could never dream of. You could have anyone. Why are you wasting your time with someone so beneath you?" "He's not beneath me. He's a construction worker with no degree and no prospects. What kind of life is he going to give you? What kind of future?" Connor came back from the bathroom right then. I don't know how much he heard, but his face told me it was enough. We left shortly after. The drive home was silent. Finally, Connor said, "I get it if you want to end this. I don't fit into your world. I never will." "I don't care about their world," I said. "But they're your family. You're my person." We got engaged 6 months later. My family lost their minds. My mom called it a family meeting. I called it an ambush. They sat me down, mom, dad, my brother, even my aunt who never visited, and spent 2 hours trying to convince me not to marry Connor. "He's using you," my mom said. "He sees you as a meal ticket. He has his own job. He pays his own bills. For now, but once you're married, he'll expect you to support him. You'll be stuck carrying someone with no ambition. He has plenty of ambition. To be an electrician. my dad said disdainfully. "That's his ceiling. You understand that, right? That's as good as it gets with him. Meanwhile, you have potential. You could do anything, be with anyone. Why chain yourself to someone who's going to hold you back?" My brother jumped in. "Think about the future, Jess. Think about kids. Do you want them growing up with a dad who works with his hands, who didn't even finish a 4-year degree? There's nothing wrong with working with your hands. In theory, no, but in reality, you'll be embarrassed. You'll go to work functions and have to explain what your husband does. You'll watch your friend's husband succeed while yours stays exactly where he is. You'll resent him, and by then, you'll be trapped." My aunt, who'd been silent until then, finally spoke up. "Honey, your mother's right. I married for love once, married a man my family didn't approve of, and you know what? They were right. He couldn't provide for me. We struggled constantly. I spent 15 years of my life stuck in a bad situation because I thought love was enough. It's not." I sat there, surrounded by people who supposedly loved me, all telling me I was making the biggest mistake of my life. "I'm marrying him," I said quietly, "with or without your blessing." My mom's face went cold. "If you marry this man, you're on your own. Don't come crying to us when it all falls apart." We got married at a small venue in Tempe. We invited 50 people. My family didn't come. Not one of them. My mom sent a card. Inside she'd written, "I hope you know what you're doing. We'll be here when you need us, and you will need us." I cried in the bathroom before walking down the aisle, not because I had doubts about Connor, but because it hurt that my family chose pride over being there for me. Connor's mom was there though, his cousins, his friends from work, his buddies from the community college. They filled the room with love and laughter and genuine happiness. Connor's mom hugged me and whispered, "Welcome to the family. We're so lucky to have you." I'd never felt that kind of acceptance from my own family. Our honeymoon was a long weekend camping trip because that's all we could afford. My family would have been mortified. We loved it. The first year of our marriage, I was determined to prove my family wrong. Connor would succeed, we would succeed, and they would have to eat their words. Connor finished his electrician license 6 months after we got married. He got hired by a reputable company immediately. The pay was good, not lawyer money, but solid middle-class income. Combined with my salary as a marketing coordinator, we were doing fine. We bought a small house, nothing fancy, but it was ours. Connor did most of the renovation work himself, and it looked incredible when he was done. I was so proud of him. I sent pictures to my mom. She didn't respond. I kept trying to bridge the gap with my family. I'd call my mom weekly. She'd answer, but the conversations were cold and brief. She'd ask if I was still with that man, like Connor was a phase I'd grow out of. My dad refused to speak to me at all. My brother would occasionally text, but only to ask if I'd come to my senses yet. It hurt. It hurt so much. And there were moments when I wondered if they were right. Not about Connor, I never doubted him, but about whether I'd made the right choice putting him above them. Connor saw me struggling. "You can reach out to them if you need to," he said. "I don't want to be the reason you lose your family. You're not the reason, they are." But the guilt still ate at me. 2 years into our marriage, my dad had a heart attack, a serious one. He was in the hospital for weeks, then needed months of recovery. My brother called me, first time I'd heard from him in months. "Dad's sick, we need you." I dropped everything and went to the hospital. My mom was there, looking older and more fragile than I'd ever seen her. For a moment, it was like the past 2 years hadn't happened. She hugged me and cried, and I thought maybe this would be the thing that brought us back together. Then she saw Connor behind me. "What is he doing here?" she hissed. "He drove me. He wanted to support me. I don't want him here." "Mom, Dad is in the hospital. Can we please not do this now?" She turned to Connor. "Leave. This is family only." Connor looked at me, I nodded, and he left without arguing. He spent the next 6 hours sitting in the parking lot waiting for me. Over the next few weeks, my family needed help. My mom couldn't handle everything alone. My brother had his own family and couldn't take time off work. They needed someone to help with meals, transportation to appointments, managing Dad's medications, and keeping the house running. They asked me, not Connor, just me. I was torn. These were my parents. My dad almost died. How could I not help? But they were also asking me to pretend Connor didn't exist, to show up alone, help out, and keep my husband, my partner, invisible. Connor told me to do it. They need you. Go help them. I'll handle things at home. So I did. For 3 months, I spent every evening and weekend at my parents' house, cooking meals, driving my dad to appointments, managing his prescriptions, cleaning, organizing. I was exhausted and stretched thin, and my own marriage was suffering because I was never home. My family didn't thank Connor for making this possible. They acted like he didn't exist. Then one day, everything changed. I was at my parents' house helping my mom with some home repairs that needed to be done. The kitchen sink was leaking, and my dad couldn't handle it in his condition. My brother was too busy. My mom was going to hire someone, but it would cost hundreds of dollars. They really didn't want to spend post-hospital bills. Connor showed up. I didn't ask him to. He just appeared with his toolbox. "I heard about the sink," he said to my mom. "I can fix it if you want." My mom looked like she wanted to say no, but the practical side of her won out. Fine. Connor fixed the sink, and a leaking pipe in the bathroom, and the electrical outlet that had stopped working, and the loose railing on the stairs was a safety hazard for my dad. He didn't ask for thanks or money, he just did it. My dad watched him work. I saw something shift in his face. When Connor was done, my dad called him over. "How much do I owe you?" "Nothing, sir. You're Jessica's dad." "I wasn't very welcoming to you." Connor just nodded. "No, sir, you weren't. Why did you come help me?" Connor looked at me, then back at my dad. "Because Jessica loves you. And when you love someone, you show up for the people they love, even if those people don't like you." My dad was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "Thank you." It wasn't an apology, but it was something. After that day, things slowly started to change. My dad would ask about Connor when I visited. Small questions. How's work? How's the house? Nothing deep, but it was an effort. My mom started inviting both of us to dinners. She was still cold to Connor, but she was civil. She'd make small talk. She'd say please and thank you. My brother took longer to come around, but eventually he did. He needed electrical work done on his house and sheepishly asked if Connor could help. Connor did, and my brother actually apologized afterward. "I was a snob," he admitted. "I judged you without knowing you. I'm sorry." The full transformation took years. 5 years after that heart attack, my parents finally admitted they'd been wrong. It happened at a family dinner. We were all together, first time in years, and my mom raised her glass. "I want to say something," she announced. "When Jessica told us she was marrying Connor, we thought she was making a terrible mistake. We thought he wasn't good enough for her. We were wrong." She looked at Connor. "You've shown up for this family more than we deserved. You've been there for Jessica, for us, even when we treated you terribly. You're a good man. I'm sorry it took me so long to see that." Connor got emotional. So did I. My dad shook his hand. My brother hugged him. 7 years after that awful first dinner, my family finally accepted my husband. Here's what I know now that I didn't know then. Sometimes the people who love you the most can give you the worst advice. My family wanted what was best for me. They genuinely believed Connor was wrong for me, but they were judging him on all the wrong things: his job, his education, his background. They weren't looking at his character, his values, his heart. They couldn't see what I saw: a man who worked hard, treated me with respect, showed up when things were difficult, and loved me unconditionally. I also learned that you can't live your life trying to meet other people's expectations, even your family's. You have to trust your own judgment. You have to choose your own path. If I'd listened to my family 7 years ago, I would have left Connor. I would have missed out on the best relationship of my life. I would have ended up with someone appropriate, who looked good on paper, but didn't actually make me happy. Now, Connor and I have been married for 9 years. We have a beautiful daughter who my parents absolutely adore. Connor's business is thriving. He started his own electrical contracting company 2 years ago. We're happy, stable, and stronger than ever. My relationship with my family is good now. Not perfect, but good. There's still some awkwardness sometimes, some old wounds that haven't fully healed, but they love Connor. They respect him. They see what I saw from the beginning. If your family is telling you to leave someone you love, really examine their reasons. Are they concerned about real issues, abuse, addiction, fundamental incompatibility? Or are they concerned about superficial things, job, education, social status? There's a difference between a family protecting you from harm and a family trying to control your choices. Trust your gut, trust your experience with this person, and if you have to choose between making your family happy and building your own happiness, choose yourself. It might be lonely for a while, it might hurt, you might lose relationships you thought were unbreakable, but you might also end up with something real and lasting and worth fighting for. 7 years ago, I stood in my living room while my mother told me I'd regret marrying Connor. She was wrong. The only thing I'd regret is if I had listened to her. If this story touches your heart, please like, share, and comment to support the channel. Subscribe so you never miss the next chapter of Stories That Matter.